I'm Brian, and that's Dez. And every week on PSVR,
This week,
we take a look at the new VR games that are coming to the PlayStation Store this week.
we gather up all the trailers we can find, all the descriptions we can plagiarize, and condense them down to the short video for you.
Sometimes we look at delayed games, updates, DLC, or new game announcements.
So without further ado, here's PSVR This Week.
An occult horror visual novel with gorgeous graphics like cut paper art, experience a trip into a mysterious world that's not quite 2 or 3-dimensional. Animated by the 2-person team at Cavi House and voiced by a team of professional Japanese actors, the Midnight Sanctuary comes to life in ways you'll never expect. The non-VR version of Midnight Sanctuary came out in early October, but the PSVR patch dropped unexpectedly just a few days ago. Expect a ton of reading in this visual novel, unless you happen to be fluent in Japanese. If you signed up for Media Molecule's newsletter, then it's pretty likely you already got invited to the first phase of the Dreams closed beta. But for everyone else, the signups will, according to Media Molecule, quote, go live on January 4th. Those who sign up will be invited to join the beta in waves during the week of January 8th, and though we cannot guarantee space for everyone, we will try our best, end quote. Even though there won't be any PlayStation VR support for Dreams during the beta, the last we heard is that there will in fact be PSVR support for the full game, to some capacity or another, at launch. At this point, Dreams has been in development upwards of 5 years, so we're all anxiously awaiting the release of this groundbreaking new title. Virtual reality music rhythm game where you play as a magical orc drummer who uses the power of the drums to kill filthy dwarf scum, burn their villages to the ground, and free fellow orcs in a cross between Patapon, Overlord, and Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. Use drumsticks in VR to bang a virtual drum kit that moves your orc and unleashes a powerful arsenal of weaponry. Drums of War is confirmed for PC VR, but sources say that the plan is to bring it to PlayStation VR eventually. Holiday discounts across all regions of the PlayStation Network are in full swing, including tons of PSVR games. But instead of reminding you for the umpteenth time that you should own Resident Evil, Astrobot, and Firewall, I dove deep into the sales and found a few more obscure titles that might not make a top 20 list, but are certainly worth checking out at their new discounted prices. And it doesn't get more obscure than 18 Floors, an escape room puzzle game that I absolutely loved despite relying on quick turning and teleportation. To the dismay of some gamers, it launched with only 2 of the 18 floors, but developer Winking Entertainment is promising 2 more levels in the form of free DLC, effectively doubling the size of their game. So make sure to grab this one right now at roughly half the price. Thumper is an underappreciated PlayStation VR launch title where you maneuver a chrome beetle through the depths of hell in possibly the strangest rhythm game ever. It's trippy, beautiful, and addictive, and actually an interesting choice for VR support considering that it's a game that requires you to look straight ahead at the upcoming twists and turns in the tracks, instead of looking around and adoring your surroundings. Thumper was a must-buy at launch, but this sale makes it a no-brainer. Okay, so I admit that Merville's A VR Adventure is a guilty pleasure of mine. Whereas Astrobot is what happens when you design a 3D platformer to make full use of VR, Merville's is more like a PlayStation 1 game that got shoved into the 3rd dimension, no frills included. But if you can overcome the relatively low budget look and feel, you'll be rewarded with a full 8-hour campaign full of collectibles and unlockable weapons that'll definitely give you your money's worth. Even though Battlezone is only on sale in the US, it's a game that shouldn't be overlooked. There's a ton of depth to the gameplay with plenty of upgrades available for your tank, and even better, 4 players can team up and take down entire maps together. And if you're committed to playing on higher difficulties, a single game could take a whole afternoon to complete. Battlezone was a full-price $60 game at launch, so this sale price is pretty fantastic, and it's even cheaper with PlayStation Plus. For those with an iron stomach, Windlands is another amazing launch title, strangely on sale everywhere but North America. You'll explore vast open lands using grappling hooks to swing from platform to platform and propel yourself around looking for secrets. The worlds are fairly empty, but there's so much fun to traverse that you're likely not to notice. And with the sequel coming later this year, you should grab this one while it's cheap. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to PSVR
This week. We'll be back next week to tell you all about the VR games coming to the PlayStation Store.
But keep in mind that no one outside of Sony really knows what games are coming when.
But we'll do our best to keep you up to date each and every week on PSVR This Week.